First learned about Barnabas Ministries sort of through the side door. Not really a back door kind of thing, but Lori Jo, the executive director, was one of my band parents. I had her children in band. And as it turns out, I gave her a phone call for something and heard this wonderful voice on an answering machine and teased her about maybe you should think about doing radio, which she told me she had already done, as a matter of fact. And from there I said, you know, I could use an announcer for the marching band since your kids are in it. And she said, all right, I'll give it a try or two and see what happens. And that was the fall of 2000, I believe, maybe 1999. And so here we are and just finished the 2012 marching season, and she's still hanging in there in the announcer's booth and traveling all over the country, literally, to work with me and work with my kids, just in that volunteer kind of thing, which has enabled me to work with her through Barnabas, being able to refer some things and work together on some things for kids. I'm more of a casual observer officially with Barnabas. My wife and I contribute financially. I have referred families. I have talked to folks about what Barnabas does and about how things can work with Lori Jo and the runaway ministry and that sort of idea. Have met with administrators and counselors. Last year, tragically, we had one of my former students pass away in a car accident. And Lori Jo was instrumental in helping out at the memorial service and getting kids together. And we kind of met in the band room and sort of gave them a place to decompress and be, you know, he was a senior, a couple months from graduation, a few days from his 18th birthday, and died in a car accident. Lori Jo was able to help out with, you know, she's great with kids, and through the ministry and through the band, we were able to provide for children. Caring for kids and helping people is really their heartbeat, their mission. It's absolutely wonderful to see how Lori Jo interacts with students. For me as a public school educator, it's really great to see that she and I both can take care to make sure that lines are not crossed that may be considered inappropriate. The heartbeat of the ministry, I would say, is definitely working with kids. And as a lifelong educator, this is my 26th year teaching, I can say that Lori Jo and Barnabas Ministries have been great in helping out what we are able to do, what we're able to do together. One of our first experiences together years ago with the ministry was after 9/11. The band was performing at high school performance on Friday night and Hope College game on Saturday. And between the schools and the ministry, we were able to arrange for a moment of silence, a memoriam kind of thing at the games. And the ministry and Lori Jo were very instrumental in that. They build up kids in such a way that these kids feel like people again. And I know that the experiences that I've had with families that have operated through the ministry has been very positive, and kids have been literally turned around and really brought to just a better place. You know, spiritually, physically, they're in a much better place. I've dealt with some runaways. I've dealt with some folks that have had some abusive homes. Folks are just able to go, and Lori Jo and Barnabas have been a great resource for me since I know kids for several years during school. Part of my job ends up being doing some counseling, or they can come and talk to me because they've known me for a long time. It's great to have a resource like Barnabas available when I know that that's what these kids will need. I know that the biggest thing that Barnabas needs right now is a big list of mentors, folks to work with kids, spend some time one-on-one with kids. It's an extremely rewarding opportunity. I've not done it through Barnabas, but obviously as a teacher for nearly 30 years, I can tell you that working with teenagers is a great experience and a wonderful opportunity just to be around them and to share your time and your life and hear them. Financial support for Barnabas is extremely important as well. I know that they are building an amazing facility for youth right now. The vision to me is just incredible that Lori Jo once upon a time had, and now here we are 20 years later and it's, you know, coming to fruition. I believe it's over $1 million that they have that they need committed to this project, and they're well on the way to achieving that. Financial support is definitely a big part of that. Indeed, prayer support is very important. In the past, been chatting with kids and we'll do a quick text to Lori Jo and say, hey, I could use a prayer for some guidance right now, and I know that that's been sent up, and it happens the other way occasionally as well. And it's great to know that that's available. And prayer is the easiest and cheapest form of support you can do. Why do I do what I do? That's a really good question. And it probably started 30-some years ago when I thought the band director was the coolest guy in the building or something, and I wanted to be the coolest guy in the building. Through my experiences with schools and with Barnabas and Lori Jo in particular, I've told people that teaching is as much of a calling as any ministry can be. And the idea that you're going to spend your life working with young people who do not always want to be there and who do not all come from the same background and the same family situation and the same financial situation, and you have to pull them all together and get them through high school. To have them come back and tell you how important it was for them to have been in your class for 4 years or to work with you is just absolutely wonderful. So I kind of have come to that conclusion in my life finally in my mid-40s, that that's why I do what I do. Sharing more about Barnabas to me is just getting the word out there and having folks support through prayer, through finances, through participation. It's an awesome program, and it's really great to be able to have this coalition or this cooperation between a public school opportunity and a ministry, that we have another resource available here in Barnabas. It's just a great program. I think Lori Jo is one of the most amazing people I've ever met. Here's a person that has been through so many different things in her life, and she is able to give of herself to everyone else. It's a really huge thing. I'm so impressed with what she's done and the vision that she has for the ministry and for kids in general. Whether or not it's a ministry, whether or not it's the gospel, she is out there helping kids, and she helps me help kids, and she is around anytime that we need her, crisis intervention, a celebration, any kind of a thing like that, and it's just really great to work with her.